It can only be attributable to human error.
He meddled in things that you people. He meddled in things. He meddled in things.
Where will we go next? This phantom from another time.
No one, Mr. Mulder.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
That is one big pile of shit.
Hi, I'm Alex Kaiju, and to my left,
Eli Watson.
and off to the side,
Stephen Myers.
and we are
Cryptid.
Cryptid Campfire.
Oh, man. This is hard.
We're trying to get the timing right. We're still in quarantine, everybody.
I know. But this will hopefully be better quality than Skype, so.
Yes, sir. Here's hoping. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Tall Tales.
I think this is Tall Tales, like, number 8 or 9?
Mm-hmm.
One of them.
And we got something cool for you cool cats out there.
Oh, yeah.
What are we talking about today, Stefan?
Talking about the Kasai Rex.
Oh, that sounds intense. And what is that
loud?
exactly?
It is here, I have a good description.
Mm-hmm.
It's a giant theropod cryptid from the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Ooh.
So he shares the same territory as Mokele Mbembe.
Yeah, and as I did a little bit of research, there's like a bunch of other cryptids that kind of pop up that sound kind of, basically like dinosaurs.
Yeah, dude.
In all the general same area.
Pretty radical, dude. Yeah, Africa's a wild place.
Yeah, and so basically, the description is a T-Rex.
Yeah, and it's dark red with stripes.
Yeah, like black. It
Yeah.
said I read black vertical stripes.
Yeah,
Almost like a tiger,
yeah, which is a pretty cool color scheme.
Oh yeah.
right? That's pretty scary.
And as we get into this, I think this will start building off the lore we've added to the cryptid fighting game that we're thinking of.
Oh.
So
it's all there. It's so rife with it.
So without further ado, I guess I'll just get into the first sighting of this.
Sounds good.
Kind of the origin of it.
And so it takes us to the year 1932 with the experienced Swedish hunter / plantation owner.
Don Johnson.
Yeah, it's John Johnson. Is
I
it
know.
not?
I was just joking. It is John
Don
Johnson.
Johnson.
I also read, since he's a Swede, that some of the stories it's Johansson.
Yeah, but
So yeah, he's a Swedish guy, so it's like Jan Johansson.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll take a minute here to correct something I said on the Mokele Mbembe episode, where I said that it was conquered by the French. While I don't think that is correct. I think it was the Belgians. That's why it's called the Belgian Congo. So you were correct, Alex, when you said that the Belgian people conquered the Congo region.
I knew it. Confirmation. Everybody. Everything I say is true. I knew it.
Yeah, and quick side note, I guess, on the Diet Love Pass episode, some people are starting a new expedition into following their path or whatever. So
they're opening the case again.
Yeah, so we'll see if they find any dinosaurs out there.
Oh yeah,
dude, could you imagine?
That'd be great.
Because that's Alex's theory about it, is that it was actually a dinosaur that killed them all.
It was frozen, and then all the hiking and the activity kind of lodged it loose, and the radiation from Chernobyl kind of melted the area, and it crawled out, started eating people. But then an avalanche happened, and it got encased in ice, waiting for its next feeding frenzy.
The time has come.
It's ready.
So going back to the Congo here.
Mhm. Going back to the crazy Swedish guy.
Yeah, John Johnson. He was he, so his servant, they said, was an African slave.
Mm-hmm.
So so this guy was traveling into the jungles to go hunt with a slave.
He's very problematic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but different.
And he was trying. I was say he was trying to hunt elephants, right?
Yes, trying to hunt elephants, and so he was living in Cape Town, and so they hiked out. So Cape Town, I think, is pretty far from where this valley is. So he leaves.
It seems like a couple days.
Yeah,
like distance. They at least for the traveling.
that's what I would think too. So they leave Cape Town. They head across this swamp, which comes back up later, and they go to this place called the Kasai Valley, which I tried looking up. I can't find any place that's specifically called Kasai Valley. There is the Kasai River, so I'm assuming there's an area along the river somewhere that is called the Kasai Valley.
Sure.
I just can't find it on Google. So, but Google
Did you
also
check
doesn't have everything.
MapQuest?
I did not check MapQuest.
Did you put it in Yelp?
No, I didn't.
So what happens when they cross this valley, Eli?
Yes, so my favorite description is that it's so desolate because there's no animals anywhere. They're just like going to this valley and there's nothing there. And it's like that for a little bit.
Just silent.
Yeah, dude. And so his servant, or his slave, as we should say, he starts calling out that he sees two elephants, like two rogue bull elephants, as John Johnson describes them. So Johnson prepares his shotgun, starts heading over there, and just something pounces out of the underbrush and just rips the elephant apart, dude, and just the servant takes off running. Johnson passes out. Supposedly, it depends on which version of the story you read.
Yeah, the story I watched a YouTube video and read a story, and both of them said it was a rhino.
Yeah, I mean, see, there's like two versions that I read. So there's either he was hunting a rhino or he was hunting elephants. And
A gray animal.
Yeah. And so
he was hunting Mokele Mbembe when he encountered another monster.
Dude, could you imagine?
Could you imagine, like, there, like you set it up towards, like, I'm going to hunt this mythical creature that, you know, is in the swamp, and he gets there, he's hunting for it, and then another completely different thing shows up, and he's just unprepared for it.
I need that head on my wall.
Extraction doesn't happen for 5 days on the other side of the jungle, so he's got to get there, he's got to survive.
Whoa. So I'll break it down a little bit about these two stories here. So in one version, he's hunting elephants. Another version, he's hunting the rhinos. And so in both versions, a T-Rex-like creature hops out of the bushes and kills the animal he's about to shoot. Now, in the version that he's hunting a rhino, he just passes out.
Yeah.
And wakes up.
Yeah, he's like faints.
Yeah, he faints. He wakes up and he sees it eating the rhino. And that's where he's able to really observe it. But in my favorite version where he's hunting the elephants,
dare I say better?
Dude, it's kind of crazy. So, you know, he's got his shotgun trained on these elephants, right? Which I looked this up. I was like, a shotgun to kill an elephant seems like a messy way. Aren't there such thing as elephant rifles? Yes, there are. And then I was like, well, maybe the elephant rifle wasn't invented yet. Yes, it was, because they were first used in World War I, which was like 20 years prior to this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
could you imagine in World War One, everyone's dug in trenches, you know, it's no man's land, and they're just like, oh, those dirty krauts, they got the mustard gas. They're doing biological warfare. The only thing that we can use to counter it is they just pull out this giant
gun.
5-foot long gun. That's called an elephant gun, and they're just like, all right, you dirty German krauts, we're coming for you.
So, so Johnson in this version with the elephants, he's got his shotgun trained on him. The T-Rex hops out, kills an elephant, and as it's eating it, he fires off 3 rounds at the T-Rex, but only one shot hits, and it hits him in the back. And so the creature backs away and leaves. Johnson finds his servant, and they head back to Cape Town, but they got to cross that swamp first. And so they're going through the swamp, and they hear a splash, and they think it's like a crocodile.
Mm-hmm.
And they turn around and they look around to see if they can see the crocodile, and it looks like it's the same creature from the savannah, the one that killed the elephants, that's now eating a rhinoceros. See, and I think that's where the real confusion begins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, apparently it was ripping off an entire leg with one bite, just
yeah, they hear that sound, and they turn over and they see just this big giant T-Rex over a rhino, and it rips its back, the big back plating off. And then with another bite, it just rips its leg off.
Oh, good lord.
Vicious.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. And his servant takes off running again.
And I think with his gun, right?
Yeah, with Johnson's gun, and leaving Johnson with just a camera. And so he's able to snap
Said serves him right. Just
kidding. Well, Johnson takes a photo of this creature, but as soon as he hears the click from the camera, the creature sinks back down into the swamp, leaving just this half-eaten carcass of a rhino and a pool of blood. Yeah, and so I have a little bit of Johnson's description here. It says it was reddish in color.
Me to.
Oh,
unless you really want to.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I got.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Cryptid Campfire Theater presents the musical stylings of Stephanie.
So I got, it was a large beast, at least 12 to 13 meters long. It was reddish in coloration with brackish colored stripes going down. The legs were thick. It reminded me of a lion built for speed. It had a long snout and numerous teeth, and it gorged itself on the rhinoceros, which twitched with life still in it. After the creature had eaten its fill, it returned to the jungle slowly, its belly full of flesh. But again, that's with the other story, so it might have been tweaked. So if he wrote that after the sinking down in the water, he could be returned to the water slowly.
Mm-hmm.
Do with that info what you will. Is yours a little bit different, or is that the same stuff?
No, that was the same as mine.
Okay.
So I was also reading, there's some confusion. Apparently, there's his report, Johnson's report, and there's another report from the, what's it called? The Rhodesian Herald from the same year that reports almost exactly the same thing. So it's possible that it was like the same report, just one of them is like confused. It's possible the media could have spiced it up to make it sound more interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't know which one.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, I mean, happens all the time.
Yeah. The rhino twitched with life still in it.
Yeah, right. So it's just like that's what.
Gushing its life.
It's a little too colorful, if you ask
dry
me.
Saravanic ground.
Yeah, I mean that's what everyone was kind of saying online, is that it's like because of the language used in this report, that it's probably more for entertainment than being like a factual recording. So there's that. But I have an even wilder report, I guess.
Oh?
Actually, I have two crazy ones.
Ooh, yikes.
So a year later, after all this happens, whether it's one report or two reports, I can't say, But in 1933, a group of 5 hunters, one of them being a renowned ivory trader, and no names were given to any of these people, they went out to go hunt the Kasai Rex. And they thought, based on the swamp kind of report, that it was like a crocodile.
Yeah, like a giant crocodile.
Yeah.
That's what their guess was.
Yeah, and so they're passing through that same swamp that Johnson went through. And as they're like going near this lake, one of the hunters sees a red tail like disappearing into the lake, like disappearing.
You see the glimpse of it.
Yeah, and so they get all like freaked out, even though they're saying to each other that it's just an anaconda.
Just
and,
an
like,
anaconda.
Yeah, right. There's like some big snakes out there, bro. There's been some pretty big ones that they found.
Pretty scary.
Yeah, snakes are scary, dude. I don't like them.
I hate snakes.
Whoa, Indiana Jones, dude.
I hate him, Jacques. I hate him. Don't be such a baby.
Yeah, what's that snake's name? Reggie or something?
Reggie,
Yeah, Reggie.
Oh, that's just my pet snake, Reggie.
So these hunters, they're all tense. They're gripping their guns, and a huge splash of water hits them from the left, and a red tail comes out of the water, smacking one of them, who like falls into the water. He ends up breaking his arm, I think, from that.
Probably from the impact.
Yeah, and so the other 4 open fire on this reddish mass, but it submerges under the water, and there's only like ripples, across the surface. And so the fallen man with a broken arm, he reaches his companions again, and I guess there's a roar from under the water. And they move as fast as possible, trying to escape the swamp, but their path is blocked by 2 things. So from the left, it's like completely underwater, and from the right, a T-Rex like creature pops out at them, blocking them. And so they have to it gets really scant with the details here, but apparently they start hiding in the rock. So I'm assuming this is like a big rock with like a crack in it, so that they're able to hide.
Or maybe like a rock formation, almost like maybe like a cave or something off to the side. Right,
and so they hide in there and just kind of wait it out. And that's where that report ends. There's nothing else on that.
Oh. And then we just went home, everybody.
Yeah, I know. Dude, could you imagine?
What a crazy adventure. Then we went home and never talked about the giant Cretaceous creature we saw in Africa.
Right. But have you guys heard about Robert Henderson?
Oh, this poor guy.
I have not.
Dude, this story, dude.
Poor schmuck.
So Robert Henderson was a great hunter and expert zoologist, and he collected like over 100 heads of animals from safaris he had been on. So
it's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
have you seen Ace Ventura when nature calls?
This is a lovely room of death.
Yeah, he walks into this room and it's just giant stuffed animal heads everywhere. Just like just a terrifying room.
Yeah.
Yeah, your doggies.
I know, right? Is that picking up?
So yeah, in 1950, Robert Henderson wanted to go to the jungles of the Congo to hunt and to discover some undiscovered species. But the trip was delayed due to the death of his wife, and so he didn't end up going until 1951. And that's when he went to the Kasai Valley.
Woo!
Yeah.
Unmarked.
So base camp was in a small town of Mutombo Lamata. And so he was stopping there, and from there he would get his crew together. They would go out to camp in the wilderness for 6 days. It was a planned expedition for 6 days. And so after 6 days, he didn't come back. And it had just rained, so people in the town thought that maybe there was some delays because after it rains, I guess the river gets wider. You know, I mean, that happens. I mean, the Nile, and I mean, I know that happens. But I know what happens, guys.
I swear.
I have proof.
Yeah, so I think it was after like 10 days. They waited like 4 more days, and after 10 days of after Henderson was gone, they were like, yeah, we need to send some people out there to look for him. So they sent, I read 10 village people and 5 military people out to go look for Henderson and see if they can find him. And so they go out and they find his initial camp, and they said they found some like antelope skins or something like in the camp still. And they estimated that Henderson had probably camped there for like 2 days before moving further into the valley.
Okay.
Right.
So they themselves, this rescue team, they camped at Henderson's original campsite and then picked it up again the next day. And so they went into the valley, and again, it's devoid of life, which I think is weird.
It's just like completely quiet. There's no animals anywhere, no activity.
Yeah. So it says they were walking for several kilometers, and that's when they found Henderson and his party. And it's just kind of nuts, dude.
Yeah.
What's
This
left
is like
of
the
Anderson?
plot of Annihilation.
Dude,
This is crazy.
Yeah. So, but does Annihilation end like this, dude?
Hit me.
So
Oscar Isaac comes out and he starts turning into like tinfoil and he starts melting.
So I guess when they found him, they just found like dismembered limbs and like people's heads just like laying around.
They found what they think was Henderson because they found his forearm.
Yeah, just his
If
forearm.
only we'd come sooner.
Yeah. Just nuts, dude. And initially, I was reading that they thought it was the work of mercenaries. But like the cuts on the limbs and stuff didn't match like knife blades or like
it was like
swords.
all jagged and ripped.
Yeah,
right?
I read that
Jagged
they had
and ripped,
serrated
yeah.
teeth.
Yeah, so like, I mean, it's possible they could have gotten attacked by a T-Rex. I mean, there's absolutely nothing else in Africa that could do this to a person.
You know what'd be crazy is you're talking about Annihilation.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Annihilation, it's good. I'd say check it out. It's a pretty cool movie.
It is. It's a great movie.
Neat stuff in it.
Spooky.
But imagine
scary.
the movie's going and they keep going further and further into the weird, atmosphere. Atmosphere is kind of changing life on Earth and kind of changing and mutating it. But it's mutating the prehistoric life remains that it's dug up, and it starts putting together weird T-Rexes that can scream, "Help me!"
Oh Lord!
And its face like opens up 2 ways, and there's like a tiny face in it that screams.
Yikes!
Yeah, but I was thinking, dude, for our video game, the Kasai Valley would be a dope place for like a boss battle, and you have to fight the Kasai Rex.
Ooh, yeah.
Really sick. Like you like recruit Mokele Mbembe to be part of your team, but then you get lost and you end up in the Kasai Valley, bro. You have to fight your way out. And there's like little raptor henchmen.
The Colosseum rises from the dust.
Dude.
You know what it is so you go to Kasai Valley, you get stuck there, and there's all the different types of Cretaceous life that survived in there. But the Kasai Rex is like the king of it until you get to its hideaway. You venture into the cave and you fight back and you kill all its evil babies that it has. You got to stop it from taking over the valley.
Yeah.
But once you kill the Kasai Rex, a giant metal door reveals itself and it opens up into the underground lair of the lizard people.
Whoa.
And the Kasai Rex was just their guard dog.
Whoa, could you imagine, dude?
All the way in the Congo.
Yeah, that's like where they're secretly based. That's where the all the Hollow Earth, which is actually like the caverns that the lizard people like traverse, and they have like their own tunnels and interconnected. That's like where their secret laboratory base is.
This game needs to happen, dude.
I'm ready.
It would be just absolute nonsense, dude. But it would be done so well. But yeah, I was also making a joke earlier. Of course, they could have been killed by like a lion or a pack of lions. I'm not sure.
Like that's a
tiger.
A tiger. I don't know. I don't even want to pretend I know where large cats live. So, hey, they live with Joe Exotic, bro.
Oh, come on down.
Yeah, dude, that show. Anyways, so according to the fossil record we have, there's no Tyrannosaurus Rexes in Africa.
Right. They were mostly. Oh, that was before they crossed over the Pangea, the ice path that was there.
Yeah,
but
right.
I was gonna say I think T-Rexes are mostly what I know there's some in China, like among Mongolia and stuff. They have T-Rexes,
I think there were some like here
in North America, right?
Yeah.
I think that's normally where they were.
Yeah. But they were saying that they found like lots of Spinosaurus fossils in Africa. So one theory is that the Kasai Rex, if it's actually a dinosaur, as reported, that it could be like an evolved version of a Spinosaurus because they were more aquatic anyways. So it would match like the swampy.
They lived in swampy terrain, and they rarely ever they're like crocodiles. Like they would go up on land and kind of bask, but they were mostly like in the water. I think that's what they were kind of saying. But like Jurassic Park 3, how scary the Spinosaurus is.
Alan.
Yeah, dude, with the raptor. Yeah.
Billy, no.
Jurassic Park 3 is a wild one, dude.
It's goofy. It's
With
got
William
the kid
H.
from the
Macy.
Barney movie in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, but the Spinosaurus fight was always my favorite in the beginning.
Ooh, it just takes out the T-Rex.
Yeah, dude. That was a cool fight scene. Is the CG still pretty good? Does it hold up?
I think in some parts, yeah. I think the Spinosaurus still looks pretty good. Like, especially that one shot to where it breaks through the fence and just starts chasing them.
Yeah, I bet. I've been meaning to go back and watch some clips of Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, I think it still looks okay for the most part. I just think the story is just a complete insanity for Jurassic Park.
Because they go back to the original island, right?
No, they go back to Isla Sorna. But Alan Grant's never been there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's why it doesn't make sense. Because the first Jurassic Park is Isla Nublar.
Yeah.
And then in Jurassic Lost World, they're like, oh, there was a second island where we grew the dinosaurs for no reason. Oh, okay, so it's Isla Sorna, and then they go there with Malcolm. And then in the third one, it's a rescue mission to get the kid because the lady's boyfriend was like, oh, let's go paragliding in these like restricted areas called the Islands of Death. Like,
sounds like a fantastic idea.
Yeah. And then they get there. And they're like, but Dr. Grant, you were here in the island. You know where it is. And he's like, this is Isla Sorna. I was on Isla Nublar. And they're like, oh.
Does he say that? Does he bring that up at all?
Yeah.
Nublar. Oh, yeah, he does?
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, why did this even happen? It's like a bad comedy situation.
It's a plot device. Don't you listen? I was on Nublar.
Yeah, but going back to the Kasai Rex and to John Johnson, who supposedly took a photo.
Oh, right, the infamous photo.
I don't think there's an actual photo that resulted from that report. I couldn't find
like an actual one. A lot of
I found
accredited ones, but they're all a bunch of
a couple of hoaxes. I know that one of the biggest ones floating around is of a picture of a T-Rex eating a rhino.
Mm-hmm. And it's they just cut it out the dinosaur from the old stop motion movie, Valley of Gwangi.
Yeah, Gwangi.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh,
I want
it's
to,
awesome.
though.
It's so cool. It's basically just this like traveling rodeo circus. They're like, oh, our horses, broke loose, and some of the cattle, I think someone's stealing the cattle, then they keep finding the cattle remains. They're like, oh, what is happening? And they just find a T-Rex. And it's just a bunch of cowboys fighting a T-Rex.
Oh, nice.
What?
And then they capture it and they put it in the rodeo, and it breaks loose like King Kong and it has a fight with an elephant.
Yeehaw.
Whoa.
It's awesome. It's basically like cowboy T-Rex version of King Kong.
Sweet.
Whoa.
It's good.
Whoa, cowboy T-Rex, man. Dang, dude.
Yeah, dude. They cut out from the poster and put it with a sleeping rhino.
Yeah, and then the other ones are just like monitor lizards.
Mm-hmm.
Like very clearly
like cut out and posted.
Yeah, it's not even really good Photoshop, so and I don't consider myself a Photoshop expert, but apparently that picture I posted today on my Instagram of that shadow person in my yard, people are believing it. That's definitely fake. I
Wait, what?
freaked my sister out by saying that, because that light just comes on at night.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was saying to my sister, I was like, do you ever get scared that you might just see someone standing down there? And she was like, Eli, don't say things like that. And that was like where it spawned. I was like, this needs to become a reality.
Someone get me the SPC Foundation now.
Yeah, right. So, yeah.
Well, that's crazy.
Not to toot my own horn, but apparently I'm decent at Photoshop.
Yeah, he's scaring the people.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else?
That's all I got on it.
That's about it. I think there's
Pretty scarce.
Two sightings attributed to it, and the sightings kind of bleed into each other half the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No real photos. No real because from what I couldn't find any. Cause when we did Mokele Mbembe, they're like, oh well, the natives, that's where the name comes from. They know he who raises the water, they let him kind of do his own thing, because if you do eat it, you die. Like there's native stories, whereas there wasn't any real native stories, to Africa about the Kasai Rex.
Yeah.
It's all just from these slave owners who showed up and were like, oh, this place looks good. Let's set up shop here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a dinosaur that can eat us. Please feel pity for us. No, sir. You're on the wrong side of history. That dinosaur should eat you.
Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't know. I kind of lean to the side that this boy ain't real, dude.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it'd be awesome. Like, could you imagine?
It'd be so sick.
Just it'd be like Primal from Adult Swim.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Could you imagine just this giant, massive creature walking and it just getting fights with hippos and rhinos, just ripping them apart?
That'd be fire, dude.
We see a homeboy riding that thing.
Ooh.
Homeboy.
But yeah, I think that's what about it, I guess, for the Kasai Rex.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
You know
about it.
You know what's funny is, did you guys Google?
Did I Google
Kasai Rex?
I
Yeah.
did.
Did you get any other results that weren't cryptid related?
Yes. I got some
writer,
I did,
right?
actually.
Huh?
Yeah, some dude.
Yeah,
Kasai Rex.
I think it was a Baltimore-based writer who writes about class and equality and stuff. And I was like, oh, I mean that's cool, but the name. I'm curious if that's his real name, or if he if he was I want a nom de plume. He's like, oh, I would take it from my favorite cryptid that's still underground. No one knows about it too much.
Yeah, huh.
So maybe I'll mention and be like, hey, is that your real name? Because if so, that's awesome. But also, there's a cryptid name it too. It's a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's a dinosaur.
I didn't eat rhinos and just like start a conversation with this like noted writer who writes about like class equality and talks about like hardships, and I'm like, did you hear about the dinosaur in Africa?
Dude, you're a dino.
You're named after a cryptid and you're awesome.
That would be sick.
Will you go to prom with me?
Be like, hey, do you want to come on our show? We do an interview with you. Tell us all about cryptids.
He was like telling us about social class and stuff. They're like, yeah, that's cool, but what does that have to do with Bigfoot?
Yeah,
He's like, Bigfoot doesn't get the respect he deserves.
Did you hear about those cowboy puck wedgies?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's about it.
Yeah. Classic dinosaur cryptid. 2-3 sightings, maybe if that, but real fun to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Thanks a big bunch.
I can't really remember how we end these tall tales.
I think we just kind of say, thank you everybody. This is what do you call them? Patreon exclusives. We want to thank everyone on the Patreon. Like you guys are the reason why we do this. So we want to thank you for tuning in, and we love doing the tall tales, and we hope you enjoy them too. And don't be afraid to tell us if there's any cryptids you want us to cover.
Straight up.
You have the power.
Do it.
You give us the money, you get the power.
Yeah, we will never laugh.
All right.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next time with a new tall tale.
Goodbye.
Take care.
Bye.